it is time for Spookoplathon. We got Jim, Bob, and old Greg. Not creepy old Greg. But we got these guys. We have a noodle. We have celebratory brownies. It's time to roll. All right. Wait, who are you?
I'm old Greg.
You're old Greg? Okay.
11. 11 is...
Oh, you got Leatherface. So that is family is part of the plot.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna leave you there. It's my roll. Oh no. That's a 4 and a 2. So I got a 6. Well, that's perfect. A book I should have already read, aside from the past TBR. So that means I can just keep reading Once Upon a Broken Heart. Cool. All right. I'm gonna eat my brownie now. We have both finished our books. You said you did not like yours?
Yeah. I was not a fan.
What was it about? The spooky book?
No. Family inherits a house from an aunt who dies. The grandfather in this family is like, oh, we should just sell the house because my sister hated me, blah, blah, blah. And they find a diary of hers that's all about her first going to this house and meeting the owner of the house, and deception and lies, and a very sudden ending that I did not like.
Would you like to roll for your next pick?
E5.
So it's a predominantly black cover.
Okay. I'm sure I have a couple of those.
I think you do. All right.
You want me to roll for you?
No.
Okay.
I'll roll. I am trapped with a creature. Oh my god, that got your attention?
Is a 9.
Yes. All right. Bonfire? Oh. That's one that I'm on the fence about.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could just go with the second book in this series if I really wanted to. I don't think I said earlier. I read Once Upon a Broken Heart. This was a reread. I had a good time the first time I read it. Because the first time, this is the first book I read by Stephanie Garber. And I was just along for the ride that time. And this time I was just like, why is she so stupid? And then I was like, oh, I think she's only 16. That's why she's stupid. And she jumps to conclusions. I'm like, I'm not entirely sure that I'm actually gonna really like the whole series. So I think maybe I'll just keep reading the series. It'll help me get it done.
Yeah.
Possibly get it out of the house.
Yeah.
I was hoping I would have a prompt that I could pull out a manga for.
Yeah.
So you got to pick one for you.
Yeah.
But my next book is Ballad of Never After, which is book 2. I don't think we ever said what you were reading in the first book for this first prompt.
The House in the Orchard by Elizabeth Brooks. I did not enjoy in the end.
We'll have some more Bernimus time. And you go pick a book.
Yes. The Apollo Murders.
Here we go.
It's spooky season.
It is a predominantly black cover. That's for sure. One last look at a noodle. And then we'll be back next time. finished Ballad of Never After. I have some thoughts, man. I had some theories that were correct. And then, what the fuck was that ending? All right, we're going to join Jim, Bob, and Tina, whatever. Oh, Greg. Listen, I almost called her Ethel the other day. I almost called him Ethel. Whoever. Whoa. 7.
7.
What?
Chance.
Oh no. What is. Oh, Chance is like a random title. I think I'm going to do a manga
Okay.
to, you know,
Speed this thing up.
yeah, get around the board a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a stack of manga. Oh boy. Oh my god. Oh my god. I have a stack of manga over there. What's the one on top?
Hey, Sakamoto Days.
What's the one underneath?
So Sakamoto Days.
That's a novel. No.
Story of
Seven Koku.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Cat Gamer 1.
That could be good.
Okay. Witch Hat Kitchen 1.
Oh, that looks cute. That could be good. And it'd be witchy themed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do Witch Hat Kitchen. Because that's, witchy. Yeah. Oh my god. It's still in the plastic wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You made that angle.
No, it's good. I got it. You're still working on yours?
Yeah,
on your what, Apollo 13 or something?
The Apollo Murders.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah.
What is it, that Tom Hanks movie?
Yeah.
It's a Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
I got that right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Apollo 13.
Really?
I don't think my parents let me watch it.
Wow.
So I finished Witch Hat Kitchen, Volume 1. It was pretty cute. I don't know. I feel like depending on how intense the normal storyline gets, I feel like this could be like a nice palate cleanser while still being in the world. So like it might be fun to keep picking up. There's actually like recipes to go with each chapter, so it's cute. All right, but that means I get to. Someone knocked over Jim Bob. Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, a 10. Okay. Oh, that's a spooky book. How did I get a spooky book? I mean, that's fine. Maybe this was the one where she was like, oh, as long as it has like, could be like paranormal or something as well. Okay, so I have a pile over yonder. Oh no, that's the wrong way. I want to zoom this time. A pile over yonder that has some of those like extra books from like fairy loot boxes, and there's one that's like a high school murder mystery, and then there's another one that's like Valkyrie type stewarding the dead. I can reread Ninth House, but I don't have the sequel, so I'm like less inclined to do this. I think this one is a murder mystery. Yeah, brutal killer stalks the city. Oh, it has someone named Damien in it. That seems like the one. All right, we'll do 7 Faceless Saints. Faceless Saints. I don't actually know that this is spooky at all, but like, I mean, this cover gives me kind of like creepy vibes. So I think there's a sequel out for this. I don't know if Fairyloot's doing the sequel or not, but I should probably read this before they announce it. So, yeah, we'll go with this one. So I finished my spooky read, which was Seven Faceless Saints. I actually really enjoyed this. It's like a murder mystery, and it's set in a world where there's these seven saints, and one of them, Chaos, has been, I don't know, disowned is not the right word, but basically he's been erased from the pantheon. And so, like, all of the disciples of the other saints, like, they're called the favored ones because they have like some sort of magical power, and like that's like from their saint. The people that are not like favored by one of the saints, that like don't have a magical power, they're called the unfavored, and they're treated as like lesser citizens. They're forced to go to the front lines in this ongoing war with like a neighboring city state or country. And the first two victims of the murders are unfavored, so like they're non-magical. And then the next victim was a disciple that like lives in like the palazzo, which is like, this was like the head of like the death faction, I guess. And he was murdered. And this guy named Damien has just been brought home from the front lines by his father, and he is now captain of the guard of the palazzo and is like in charge of security. And he is tasked with figuring out who has killed this disciple. And he's like, I think this has something to do with, like, I think these are all connected, like all these deaths are connected. And he is told, like, don't bother with the unfavored ones, like they're like less than. And so he kind of goes behind the backs of the people who are telling him like not to look into it, and he teams up with his, they weren't like dating, but like his like childhood sweetheart basically. And like they were like best friends, and they like slowly fell in love, but then he was sent to the front lines, and then there's all this other background history. And so like they are forced to team up, but she holds a really big grudge against him for several things. And so it's like them slowly uncovering the mystery of these murders, but then also like a greater mystery or sketchy plot that they're like slowly uncovering as they go. So I had a really good time. I was like, I don't know, I had a really good feeling going into it, but sometimes you're just like, oh, is this gonna like backfire on me? But and like I hadn't really heard anyone talk about it. I think I've only heard a couple people say stuff, and I think the sequel is out. I think I saw it at Barnes and Noble the other day, and I was like, why is this? Because I got this in a Fairy Loot box, and I don't think they've announced that they're printing the sequel yet. So I'm gonna be really sad if they don't. They haven't not printed the sequel. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna flip this camera and we're gonna roll for my next prompt. So Jim Bob was on Spooky. Ooh, got another, is that 11? That's 11. Okay. So I got a small book, so one under 300 pages. I just got, I have a stack of manga that I could pull from. I just got a volume of Marriage Toxin in the mail today. I have Sakamoto Days. You know what? I think I'm gonna do a Marriage Toxin. That seems like a good vibe. I'm gonna go put like PJs on because we just got home. We're gonna go with Marriage Toxin and then come back for another one. All right, I finished Marriage Toxin Volume 4. Got it for my under 300 page book, which I hope it's under 300. I assume it's under 100, under 300 pages. So Oh God. A 9. Pole pick? Oh no. I gotta figure this out. Okay. Came back for an Albert interlude. Look at him. Look at him. Brought that chair out for me to sit in for when I'm reading, hanging out. It's never gonna be mine. And then there's a sesame. There's a sesame. So the options that I've come up with are A Curse or True Love, which will complete the trilogy. A House with Good Bones, which is like Southern Gothic novella. Rebel Without Claws. This is an arc that we got at our used bookstore. And then this is Highland Treasure. Which I picked up at the used bookstore because I was in a historical romance kind of mood. I think I'm just going to send this to the group chat and then see what they say. The winner is A House with Good Bones. Oh my God, this print is tiny. Nobody warned me about this. There's only 243 pages. This print is so little. Okay. We'll complete that. I mostly finished this. Okay, so this woman named Sam, she's forced to go live at her mom's house for like 6 months, and her brother had said like mom seems off, and so she was kind of like on the lookout for weird behavior. But there's a moment where it says she finds a jar of teeth hidden beneath the magazine-worthy rose bushes, and vultures are circling the garden from above. I got like 50, almost 60 pages in, and that hadn't happened yet. And so I was like, okay, like I'm reading this, but it's feeling a little slow. So I kind of like, flip like 20 pages and then, kind of skim, and then I flip, another 20 pages and then, skim for a couple pages. And so I got kind of the gist of like the middle, and then I got to the last like 60 or 70 pages and like actively read those. I don't know that I can totally like count this as like fully read because of all the skimming I did in the middle. I don't know that I really missed. I don't know, like part of me feels kind of guilty because I probably only read about half of this book in its like entirety, but I got the gist of it. So Damien had read this, said like, yeah, it was weird, but and like maybe I would like it, and that it's Southern Gothic, and like it does say that on the a haunting Southern Gothic from an award-winning master of suspense, which like I like Southern Gothic most of the time. I like, as someone who's not a super fan of the horror genre, like it's weird because like I don't like horror and I don't really like Gothic stories, but I like Southern Gothic. Like there's just something about like a creepy Southern story that I don't know, kind of holds a special place in my heart. Somewhere weird. There were a lot of parts that I did enjoy, the Southern parts always, and like some of it is like generational trauma. The reason for the skimming was that like it felt really slow in the beginning. I think if I had come to this in like a slightly different reading mood, I might have actually read the whole thing. And I did like the writing style, did like the characters. I guess it's weird to say that I like the writing style if I thought it was slow, but like it's more of like the pacing and the plot than I think the writing style. I don't know. It makes sense in my head. I have Nettle and Bone, and I have her latest, A Sorceress Comes to Call, because this particular genre can be really hit or miss for me. I do think this was always kind of a 50-50. So yeah, I'm glad I tried this one. If I can work it in, if I land on a prompt that works for one of the other ones, I might give them a try and see how I like a different tea kingfisher work. I might give this to my sister because she's more of a fan of horror, and like would probably, I don't know if she likes Southern Gothic in particular, but she's already read some T. Kingfisher, so I don't know if she's read this one. So I did go ahead and roll last night, and I had been on pull pick. I rolled a 9, and I landed on Pentacle, which is a 5-star prediction. And I was like, if this series ends, this is without the dust jacket, but this is A Curse for True Love, which is the 3rd book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I don't know if there's like a series name. I decided to go with this one because depending on how this ends and like kind of how the series ends overall. Oops. Also, can we just talk about how pretty this is? I could see this being a 5-star series overall. So I was like, all right, well, we'll just kind of like house rules this. But I am like halfway through. It is kind of late, but I'm going to go get in bed and read a little bit more of this. It's 1. So I don't know that I'm going to get a ton read. Okay, I say that. I'm not going to get all of it read. Wouldn't be the first time I've lied about that. We'll see how we do. I feel like I'm doing pretty well on this Spookoplathon so far. I'll try not to like think about it too much. I'm pretty pleased that I will have gotten like an entire trilogy read for this challenge. Damien is like halfway to 2/3 through his black book, and I have lapped him, but he does more things than I do. Plus, that he's a gamer, and the new Zelda game just came out, so he's been playing a lot of Zelda instead of just sitting and reading with me, which is fine. Another love of his, so it's fair. I'm gonna go make some more progress on this book and check back in tomorrow. I finished A Curse for True Love. I don't know that it's gonna get 5 stars, but it'll probably get 4. I feel like this is definitely a series where you have to go in knowing that it's a fairy tale and you have to like suspend your disbelief and like don't expect it to be super logical. I don't know that either relationship is super healthy, but I don't know. It was fun. And then the epilogue, like where she asks a question and you don't get an answer. I'm like, okay, this has to have been answered like maybe in Caraval, because I think they're like tangentially connected. But that means I get to roll again. So I'm going to turn this around. Hopefully get something like really good this time. Oh my God. I got a two. And my first double. So I got a broomstick, clean looking cover. And I'm doing the combine a prompt. So it's 8. Spoopy with a clean cover. I have You Look Better as a Ghost. I feel like I should save You Look Better as a Ghost in case I land on humor, but I have others that would fit humor. Oops. This one's called a supernatural thriller. Has a very clean cover. Miss Peregrine's is kind of spoopy. Seems like an involved cover. It's a pretty clean cover. Could do that one. Blackwater Sister. Would you count this as a clean cover? Okay. Oh my. Hope you have to help me look. Okay. Coldest Touch. After Love. Rebel Without Claws. Blackwater Sister. Murder Your Employer. Sources Comes Call. Nettle and Bone. Simon Tov. Or You Look Better as a Ghost. I feel like I know which ones are a clean cover. I would say these three. I don't know if I'm in the mood for this, but visually, it is between these three. Visually, I think it is most likely between these two next time. All right, I'll go with this one. 40 minutes later, I'm back to say this is a no. This is a no for me, dog. The voice in here is like not it. We got like 40 pages in. And it's like she's a serial killer. You find that out pretty quickly. She's in this bereavement group. This woman sitting next to her is sharing her story. This other woman takes hold of our main character's hand, and it's just like her inner monologue. And she just goes, "That's when I felt it, the most powerful urge to snatch my hand away and put her out of her misery. Strangulation would be my preferred choice, but Welshman would probably get involved. People like him always do, and I reckon he outranks me on strength. It needs to be quick, sudden, blunt force to the head. Such a shame I didn't think to bring my hammer." So, like, kind of funny, but also kind of gives me like Dexter vibes. And I don't like Dexter. I watched one episode. She only does this to like people who have wronged her. So, like, the guy who sent her the incorrect email saying she was in it, like her artwork was accepted into an exhibition, but then it was meant for a different Claire. And then her dad passed away and he had dementia, and there's a nurse that she kills the person who sent her the incorrect email, and then she kills the nurse that was treating her dad poorly, and like it's just a bunch of that. And then she's like at this bereavement group, and like then I think someone starts blackmailing her. No, it's not it. It's not it. Yeah, I'm DNFing this. It's not it. Luckily, I didn't buy this. This is from my sister, and she was like, "Yeah, you really like it." No, no, I will not. Should I try and find a different book for this prompt since I only got like 35 pages in, or should I just roll for a different one?
You had another option.
I had Nettle and Bone, which is like a fantasy, and then I had another like supernatural thriller. I guess I can try the supernatural thriller. File under Bad Omens, Angels and Humans, Apocalypse Now, Big Guns. All right. We'll try this one and hope it's better. I'm noping out of this one too. I feel like it would be fine. It wouldn't get a super high rating. It's a translated work. I think maybe because it's translated, it's a little clunky. It's a lot of like woo shit. It wasn't doing it for me. So I'm gonna just roll again because clearly this isn't working out. It is like it said, Angels and Humans, Bad Omens. Like it does give a little bit of those vibes, but like way more. It's been a long time since I've read Bad Omens. Good Omens? Good Omens. The first page has like Genesis in it, so it's a little more hardcore religious. There's like a prologue and then the first chapter. So on page 10 of this book, it's like angel or Nephilim or whatever. And he's talking about Lilith. He describes her. She was dark and comely, her eyelashes fluttered like turtle doves, her perky breasts like two erect towers. That was kind of it. That was like the downward slide. I mean, the first page with Genesis, and it was a little much, but I was like, all right, get past the first page. Page 10. I did get to like 50 something. I'm gonna just roll again. That's what I'm gonna do. But first, look at this noodle. This snuggly boy. Okay, I got a 5.
Or chance.
Chance.
Yeah.
That's just a random title.
Yeah.
Do I have to, if I DNF these, do I have to, like, is there like a punishment? 2 DNFs is enough. Punishment, probably. Well, if I just get a random title, there's a stack of manga. Cat Gamer. All right, cool. We'll go with this one. It looks really cute. All right. I'll be back, hopefully, with an actual positive read this time. Apparently, Damien finished his.
What's this one?
Uh-huh.
It's good. I liked it. It started out kind of slow, but
Uh-huh.
once it started getting into the action, it was like a lot of action very suddenly. It was good, very tense.
Okay. You
I have to restore my guy.
put old Greg back on black. Oh my God.
Which is an 11.
11. Wow. Grady Hendrix. Yeah. Okay, so it's either something by the author or something with humor or satire. Did you read Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires?
No.
I feel like I haven't seen it recently.
Yeah.
You found that one?
Yep, we found it.
Is it the one you choose?
Yep. I'll do it.
Okay.
It fits. It might be the only one I have that fits.
Of the like humor or satire?
Yeah.
Cool. I hope you enjoy.
Me too.
This made up for both of those duds. It was super cute. Definitely gonna need the next volume. I am gonna roll again. Okay, I got a 9. 7, 8, 9. I got pumpkin carving, which is something with a face on the cover. You could do Blackwater Sister, which is like a girl who gets like possessed by the ghost of her grandmother. Afterlove, which I need to read eventually. Diary of an Accidental Wallflower. It's got a face on it. Highland Dress got more than a face on it. I could read another manga and go with Apothecary Diaries, Volume 1. I could go for a different manga and do Sakamoto Days, Volume 13. Or I could do Story of Senkoku. So I'm thinking that since I have 7 options for this prompt, since it's not super late, maybe I'll do a manga for this one, but then I would want to know what my next read would be after. So maybe what I'll do is roll for that one as well.
Sure.
Okay. 6. 4, 5, 6. Got Leatherface, which is like there's family in the story. I feel like all of these would work well. Maybe for the face one, I'll do Sakamoto Days. And then for the family one, I might do Apothecary Diaries. So that's 2. I'm going to go ahead and roll Una Mas. I got 7. Oh no. This one is Blood. I can't read that because I colored over it. A book that's mostly red with like a red cover. All right. So we have Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. We have Full Moon Coffee Shop, which is like cats and bookstores. I have Princesses Behaving Badly, which is, I think, nonfiction. Ooh, I do also have a Beauty and the Beast Mina Lima edition that is red. With Blood and Honey. Dreadful. This would probably go under the spoopy one as well. I have Diary of an Accidental Wallflower. And then Temptation of Magic. This was Fairy Loot pick. Yeah. Hi. What do you think? What do you think, sweet boy? We'll go for the quick read then. So we have Sakamoto Days, 13, Apothecary Diaries, and Dreadful. That's my next 3 rolls. So, enjoying your book so far?
Yeah, so far I'm about 50 pages in. So it's getting settled.
There she be. I don't know where I put Sakamoto Days. I think I put it on my shelf already. But I finished Apothecary Diaries Volume 1. It was super cute. I feel like I would like to continue, but I might wait and see if I can get some other stuff read and make some space first. I also finished Dreadful. It was cute. It was a good time. This is the one where Gav wakes up and doesn't remember who he is or where he is or anything like that. And then he realizes that he is the Dark Lord in the castle and has recently kidnapped a princess and has goblins. And yeah, it's a good time. But that means I get to roll again while I get this set up. Do you want to tell us how you're enjoying Vampire Slayers?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. There's been some violence and some surprising things that have happened. Oh no.
Oh no.
Bookmark. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's pretty good. I probably am missing some of the southernisms,
yeah.
but I'm having a good time.
Go to our board. Oh, I got a 4, and it's a double. 4. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. I got another fucking chance. Okay. 5, 3, 4. Oh, I'm on Grady Hendrix. I've already read that one. I don't have any more Grady Hendrix, which means I need something with like humor or satire. I'm gonna have to consider and then come back. I'm actually gonna go with this Get Fuzzy. Treasury is what it's called. Treasury of the Lost Litter Box. I have had this out to read for a while. It's one of my favorite comics, like Sunday comics kind of comics. I like to read those like in little chunks, little doses. So I might house rules it and pick another book. Oh my god. You have to be kidding. All right, Jim Bob. 1, 2. So I got Shirley Jackson, so I don't have anything by her. Well, you do. I don't. If it's not her, then it's something with a building on the cover. I have something with a building on the cover. That is. Oh, you have got to be kidding. 9, 10, 11, 12. Lowest rated. Seems pretty straightforward. Okay, that's a 10. I can work with that one. 8, 9, 10. Family that's part of the plot. Lowest rated with a building on the cover. I gotta do some hunting. All right, it is the next morning, and I have gathered a stack of books, and I've already gone through them. The first contender was Castle in the Air. So, as a reminder, we're going for something with a building on the cover that is the lowest rated and has something to do with family. So, this was a contender. This was our first option of the lowest rated because it has a 3.87, which I think is kind of low. This one was knocked out because it's higher It's like a 4.02 or something like that. This one was surprisingly high. I think it was like a 4.25 or something. This one also has a 4. And then this one was the next contender. So it was a 3.66, which is The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling. So it knocked out Castle in the Air as a contender. This one is like a 3.82. I wonder if it just has not enough ratings. I didn't really look at the number, but I really enjoyed it. And then, in a surprising turn, the Library of the Dead knocked out. Let me just double check because that still seems sus. Yeah, Library of the Dead has a 3.49. So this will be a reread for me. Mainly a do I want to continue with the series? Because I know there's a second, possibly a third book out. And I don't know that I loved it the first time enough for me to be inspired to continue. So it's been on my reread pile for a while. So that'll help either give me an impetus to continue the series or an excuse to get it out of my house. So that's nice, I guess. But yeah, you can see the buildings on the cover. It follows Ropa, who is a teenager, and she is a ghost talker who goes around Edinburgh passing messages from the ghosts to the family that they've left behind. Ghosts that are like, oh, children are being going missing. So my current reads are now Treasury of the Lost Litter Box, which look at this cover. Look at how goofy it is. It's just so goofy. And then Library of the Dead. I will probably take this one in smaller chunks. Fun fact, I used to keep these in my bathroom for when I just needed a minute. I would end up just sitting there and reading. I do have to say that I have a bunch of pockets in here. I do also have all these stacks on the table. So I think I am kidding myself. We'll see how this goes. Don't go. Ugh. Abandoned in my time of need. All right, so I finished The Library of the Dead. This was a reread. So this follows Ropa, who is a ghost talker in Edinburgh, after some sort of incident where, I don't know, society's wonky right now. She's going around passing messages between the dead and the living, their loved ones that are still alive, and she is stopped one day by a ghost who her son is missing, and she's heard that a bunch of other kids are missing. And so Ropa starts investigating and kind of goes along her way. I can't tell how old she is. She's probably 14 or something. I don't know if it's really specifically said in here, but it's kind of cool to get a kid's perspective. Maybe she's 16. I don't really know. I feel like she's an interesting narrator. I like her voice, but there's something just about this whole book where I'm it just isn't a new favorite. I think if I wanted to continue the series, I would get it from the library. I feel like this would be a really good audiobook too. I could definitely see it being really good for that. I think I might end up unhauling this. I read this a few years ago, and at the time, and even this time, it was fine. There was nothing immediately wrong with it, but this would probably be 3.5 stars, if I was going to give it a rating. And so it's kind of middle of the road, higher end middle of the road, but it's also not something that's crazy memorable for me. I remembered some things up to a certain point in the story, but I didn't really remember the end of things, which is fine. Like, I don't have to remember every single part of every single book. That would be insane. Need a bigger brain for that. More just like it didn't really stick with me in any kind of way, so I don't know that needs to stay in my house, if that makes sense. I did not make any progress in this yet. It's like huge. So I like this isn't something that I would like be carrying around like to work or anything to sneak in a few pages. But what even prompt was this for? Oh, something with humor. That's what it's for. And I didn't really get a chance to read a ton today at home because I was busy doing some other stuff and had to do some stuff outside today. I think maybe this will be like my bedtime book where I just read 5-10 pages as I'm falling asleep. I am going to go ahead and roll and pick another novel. We're having a time over here. This little boy over there came and sat on Jim Bob. All right. Oh, I got 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. A mostly black book. I'm gonna need a minute. Oh my God. Look at this boy. What are you doing? Oh my God. Take out Jim Bob and old Greg. So I have Murder Your Employer. I have Beasts of Prey, which is an African fantasy involving a night zoo. I do Ninth House. I feel like this would be like literally perfect since it is pretty much entirely black. This would be a reread. This one is a recent Fairy Loot pick. Yeah, Fairy Loot. This woman is dying and enters a magical bargain that lets her. God, look at these end papers. Anyway, she enters a magical bargain that lets her enter the world of her favorite fantasy series, and she wakes up as the villain. So that could be fun. All right, we've got Kingdom of the Cursed, which is book 2 in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. This would be a reread. Sorceress Comes to Call. This is a new one. I think this is a Goose Girl retelling, but also a little more horror-y. Ippo's King, which is book 3 in the Wraith King series. And then I have over here, I have this one, which is An Enchantment of Ravens. It would be a reread. It's also by the same author, is a book called Vespertine. Something, and like it's way back in there, so I just would have to get it. For me, I feel like my strongest contenders would be A Grey Straven, or this one, or one of the Margaret Rogerson books. The hardcover, this one. It looks really fun.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going with. I forgot to ask you how your book was.
So I am liking it. I hate all the men in this book. It takes place in the 80s and 90s. They're all just shitheads.
That's the true horror part.
Yeah, kind of, honestly. I hate all of them, but I especially hate Hattie's husband, Carter. Yeah, he's just epitome of worst self-important man. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I like it though. I like it's very dramatic and very fun. So I think it's good.
we've both finished our books. So that means we get to roll again. Do you have any thoughts you would like to share with
the people.
With the peeps?
I enjoyed it. I think it's a good book. I think her husband could have gotten worse off.
Oh my goodness.
You have something to say too?
Yeah.
A good read. I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. I finished Long Live Evil, and it might be one of my favorite books of the year. I don't really know what to expect. This is about a girl who is dying in our world and gets sent to like her favorite fantasy series, but she arrives there in the body of the villain, and so she's just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna own it, and drastically alters the story and changes things, and shit escalates. It was very good, and I cannot figure out if there's a sequel. There better be. There better be a sequel. I can't imagine there not being a sequel, but also like there better be. Jim Bob and old Greg are sleeping on the job, mostly because they were taken out by a certain someone. Right. That's a 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay. I already did one of these. I guess I could go for a manga on this one. Maybe I'll go with Story of Sankoku, because I already know that I like the anime. Is that cheating? Well, I already know I like A Man and His Cat, so we'll just go with this one since it's right here. Look at his teeth. Look at his teeth. I'm going to go ahead and roll a second time, if that's good with you. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you see this? 10, 11, 12. Ooh, community shelf. Yeah. That's the one with, yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull up our prompts. All right. So I have them in an email. Do this a couple times. 5. 5 is negative verb in the title. Betray, poison, murder, / We'll do that in combo with the next prompt, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jesus, randomize your TBR. Okay. So a random book with a bad word, negative word in it. I know this is stupid long, but I kind of want a romance.
Okay.
I've heard really good things, so not that I like don't want to read this, just all right. Your turn.
Okay.
You do it.
Okay. It is a 7. Stabby. Yeah. I need to go look at some options, see what I see.
All right.
So I'll come back.
So my 2 are the first volume of Story of Sankoku and Theft of Swords. We will, you know what, maybe what I'll do is read like a chapter or 2 of this, and if I'm not vibing with it, I will switch to A Magic Steeped in Poison. That's what we'll do. Also, this is just like, it's such a fat chunk of a book that I'm like, I kind of want to get it off of this shelf, which is my TBR shelf, and desperately needs some rearranging, but we'll do that after the challenge.
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Is that Hannibal?
Yeah.
Lecter?
Hannibal Lecter. Yeah.
That is definitely stabby.
Mm-hmm. Maybe bitey more than stabby.
Does he eat him like zombie style, or does he eat him like fancy sashimi?
I will have to read and find out. I know in the movie he just goes to town on some guards at one point. So spoilers.
Just like motioning.
Yeah.
Is this Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah, it is.
Really hot? You're like, no.
He eats people.
All right, listen. Oh my, is this, what are you doing?
It's payback.
Is that your blanket? What are you doing? All right. We've picked our books. I feel like you picked a good one. I mean, not for me.
Yeah.
I would have to pick something vastly different for Stabby, but
So I'm like 80 pages into Silence of the Lambs. It's good so far. I've seen the movie a lot, so it is familiar.
Have you seen the show,
No.
I'm sorry, I've seen the show.
You have. I'm amazed that you have.
It's Mads Mikkelsen. I only watched a few, and Hugh Dancy. I've only seen a few episodes. I didn't like finish the series or anything, but I decided that it was going to take me forever to get through Theft of Swords. Like, I'm still going to like keep like putzing through it, but I decided that I was going to change my book for this prompt, and I read For Better or Worse. It's like a rom-com-y type vibe. It's on KU. I had a good time. She used to be a professional objector for weddings, and she objected at his, and then like 3 years later she has decided to become a death doula and is working with this older gentleman who is like getting his family together one last time for a big like final trip to Hawaii. And he is his grandson, and they get it on. All right, so that means, all right, that's a 9, 7, 8, 9. Another one. I get to do another one. Now I gotta go back to my list. So I got an 11. My community shelf prompt is use last year's board to roll. All right, so this is last year's board. All right, so we have an 8, 7, 8. Green, yeah. So just a book with a green cover. We'll do this one because if it sucks, then it's a pretty book. Heard like mid things about it, so try this, and if it doesn't work, then maybe I will try After the Forest. I finished this. I don't know what I read. It's like there's a kingdom where magic is like dying unless you have the maiden and the king and the hero, and like all these like archetypal figures. There was some sort of like revolution, and the king was imprisoned and the queen died giving birth to twins. This is all in the prologue, so it's not really a spoiler. The, I guess, head witch from that time like helped birth these children, and one of them was a boy, and he was, like a normal baby. And then the other one was like half baby, half octopus. And she took the boy, but then left the octopus baby. And so, like, the fairies raised the octopus baby. And then it was weird because there's like this really strange mix of like science and fantasy. And like I didn't get the ending at all. Like I have no idea what's happening. It seems like there's possibly a sequel, but like I have always thought this was a standalone, and so I don't know. I It didn't make any sense. There's like four main like young characters. Obviously the two babies and then two other people. Jesse like flip-flops between male and female, like magically can change their gender. David is the male baby, and then Jack is female and gay, and I don't know. It's weird. I think a lot of the reviews that I have seen were talking about like the representation in here being wonky. I think I vaguely remember there being issues with like people of color. I don't know. Did not love it. Mostly because like the writing style wasn't bad. Like I don't have anything against it, but like it was also like really easy to read, but the plot and the world building was like weird for me. So yeah, I am gonna pick a new book. All right, so I'm on community shelf. Haha. 5, 6, 7. Okay. A book that I've been saving. This is like a rainy day book or a book that I have been like putting off because I think I'll enjoy it a lot. I never came on and said what book I picked, but I picked the God and the Gumio for my future like rainy day book pick. I just finished it and it was so good. It was so cute. If you like K dramas at all, this is like K drama in book form. We'll definitely be picking up more from the author. So it is time to pick another book. I'm a little worried that this is going to be the last roll, but I will try and make it not the last roll. Oh, a double. 10, 11, 12. Okay, a 5-star prediction. That is, it's an 8, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's Shirley Jackson. That's a building on the cover. I'm gonna have to go through some of these and then report back. But also, I cannot disturb the Cecil. Partly in an effort not to disturb this baby, but also because I found a book. I'm gonna roll again. The book I picked is Cats in Spring. As you can see, they're inside a building, so it's a building. Celebration of feline charm in Japanese art and haiku. So, yeah, gonna be super fun, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and roll again. Okay, that's a 6. Oh my Jim Bob. 4, 5, 6 for science. Like a random letter generator, and that's what your title starts with. So Q? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with Q if we don't find an option with Q. Oh, look at right there. Look at, oh my God. Okay, hang on. Look at right there. Right there. Queen bee. Okay. We can do that. Or I will take another peek through, and if that's the only cue I have, then that's gonna be the choice. So I finished both my 5-star prediction slash building on the cover pick and my seance pick, which was random letter generator, and then give me Q of all letters. This was the only book that I had that I could find that started with Q. So I just finished this one. This is a prequel to Her Majesty's Royal Coven, and this details like the founding of the coven and like its history with like Anne Boleyn and all that sort of thing. So this kind of details like the years leading up to Anne Boleyn's massacre and like or not massacre, her beheading and the aftermath of her death and kind of the repercussions for witches in the country and that sort of thing. I feel like this could be read before you read the main series, but like this is definitely a different it's set in a different time period. So like it's gonna feel different. It's like it feels way more historical than I've only read the first book. I've only read Her Majesty's Royal Coven, but it feels like way more historical than that because that's set in like modern day England. So like there's like pop culture references and that sort of thing. So it's a slightly different vibe, but like still like an interesting development for the overall world. So I am going to roll again. All right. I want to land on something that I haven't. Oops, come back here. Oh no, where did it go? I dropped it. Oh, there we go. Found it. Okay, cool. All right. It's a 9. 7, 8, 9. Oh no. TBI veteran. I could be strategic about this and do a book that I've already started that I've had for a while. And I like started it earlier in the summer and put down. Mostly I just got caught up reading other things and then just like never had a good time to pick it back up. So there's a book that I have that I picked up from a little free library like ages ago that was about like one of the last madams of like New Orleans or something. And it's fairly short. So I could get that and read it. And just like, if I don't like it, yet another thing to like leave my house. So I could do that. I do also I've been working on reading down all of my like first set of Fairy Loot books that I got. And there were a few boxes that had like those extra books. I still have 3. I have 4 more days. So I could probably get a solid like 4 books read. Maybe. I do also have several books that I've had like checked out from KU for like ages that I could try. I am really excited to put my shelves back together because I think I will have made a pretty good dent in some of this, especially with some of like the older books. Okay, so at school, I picked up this like I don't know if you guys had the same thing, but there were like some classrooms that had like books in them. And I asked my professor, I was like, "Hey, kid, like, just like browsing the books in this random classroom." And I was like, "Hey, can I borrow this?" Like, and she was like, "Yeah, I mean, as long as you bring it back." And it's been well over 10 years. But okay, so this is a Celtic miscellany. It's a Penguin classic. You know what? Maybe I can get this on Libro FM because it's way nicer to like hear how some of these names are pronounced than try and like figure out in your head. And like I know like how most of the Irish names are pronounced, but not the Welsh names. So my senior year I did a I took a class on Jane Austen as like one of my like final electives that I had to do. And we read all of her books. And I'm like, do I really need to keep this? Like, I don't, yeah, you know what? I've had this since like 2011. Let me do, I know this is like cheap with like, it's like 50 pages, 51 pages. Okay, yeah, there we go. And well, that's like notes. So 50 pages total. You know what? We're gonna do this because if I don't like it, then I'm gonna put it, someone needs it. I don't know if this is like something that I like need to hold on to just for like the sake of it. So I know this is like itty bitty and kind of a cop out, but it'll get just one more thing off of my list. So, well, list. Maybe I will try and finish this tonight. Damien's doing stuff, so we'll just keep reading till he's ready to go to bed. And hopefully get one more done.
I don't know that I have too much of an update. I'm on page 142. We've met the villain. It is creepy. It's good. I like it. I can spoil it, I guess. So they find an insect in the throat of one of the victims.
Oh.
And it's like a moth, like a cocoon or something for a moth. Yeah. Yep. It's certainly a choice.
I finished the Watsons. It's fine. It's like a partial novel. And it's like this girl, Emma Watson, hence the Watsons. She lived with an aunt for a really long time and basically grew up with her aunt. And then her aunt got remarried after her husband died. And she moved to Ireland with her husband. And like her new husband didn't want Emma to come with them. So she returned home. Her father's kind of an invalid, like ill or sickly. There's another family that invites them to a ball, and she gets sent instead of her older sister. And like the first like 10 pages of the book is her older sister Elizabeth telling her like oh, like who to talk to, who to avoid. Like she spends a lot of time talking about specific people, and like you kind of meet those people. And since she's new, she's kind of the talk of the town, and like very interesting to the people. And her sister's like she's talking about she's talking about this man who she's like, oh, he just flirts with everyone. And she's like, she like really pushes that, like, oh, I can't believe you, like no one's able to resist his charms, like I can't believe you did. And oh, I would never. And I'm like, are you in love with him? Like you have to be in love with him because you're kind of obsessed with him. I don't know. It's gonna go on the red pile, but it's probably gonna be leaving my house. So yay for one more done, but sad that it's not longer. All right. That's an 11. All right. Bonfire, which is like one that you're like potentially not going to like. I think I'm going to go for one of the books in this stack over here because it's, oh no. Oh no. Did you see that?
I didn't see it, but it was like super close up.
It was like a 3 times like zoom. I think I'm going to do this one, which is The Coldest Touch. It's one of those like extra books from Fairy Loot that I was talking about. It's a girl who she has a power like where whenever she touches someone, she experiences how they will die. And then another girl who is a vampire tasked with helping her master her powers. And yeah, and like she doesn't want to work with her, but then she murder. I think it's set in a high school. Yeah, well, teacher, so I assume high school. And like there's lockers on the front, so I imagine so. And really do high school. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I finished The Coldest Touch. It kind of reminded me of like Vampire Diaries a little bit, like not really in the premise and not really in how like the magic worked or like magic slash vampire lore worked, but just and then it was like set in a high school and I haven't seen any Buffy, so I can't compare it to that. But I'm like, yeah, it's like high school vampires. No, I just need to roll again. But I don't know if I can without. I'll try. I'll try. Yeah. Hell. Oh, is that a 4?
Yeah.
All right. A double. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I? Is that bone?
9.
Okay. Help girl out.
9. It is mood read.
So mood read with like a bone colored cover. Okay, I have this stack of books to discuss. I have Castle in the Air. It's not like a direct sequel to Howl's, even though it says it's a sequel, but it's like interconnected world. I could do volume 2 of Beyond the Clouds. You can judge how bony they are. I could do Vampirates. I think I've read the first 2 or 3, but I need to finish the series. So it's twins and there are pirate vampires or vampirates and they get separated in a shipwreck. This would be a bone that's been in the ground for a while. This is an arc that I got from the used bookstore. So it's a girl whose father was like not an ordinary veterinarian and he traveled the world caring for like mythical beasts and now she has to take his place. And then I have one of 2 versions of The Alchemist. I have the actual novel or the graphic novel that I could pick from. These would be more in the sense of like, do I want to keep them? And then the last option I have is Crossings. This one is, yeah, I'm sure you can read that, but it says in this mesmerizing genre-bending debut, the author has created an intricate literary puzzle designed to be read either as a first to last page narrative or by following an alternative chapter sequence that offers a very different reading experience. I feel like this could go either way for me. Could either be like really fantastic or really terrible. I feel like I'm leaning towards I am a little torn because I'm like kind of in the mood for vampires, but then I'm also in the mood to like make more progress on things leaving my house, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe for the sake of speed, I will go for the graphic novel of The Alchemist. And I feel like I could possibly, if I like was like, I'm good, I could possibly even get rid of both. And then when I'm like not beholden to the board, starting Vampirates. I finished The Alchemist graphic novel. The art is really pretty. And there's like scenes where they're like traveling across the desert and everything. And it's basically about this boy who's a shepherd, and he like is convinced to go out into the world to like find his treasure or like his personal legend, or and so he does, and he travels, and he's in Spain, and then he like travels to Africa and like goes to the pyramids and stuff, and it kind of just like recounts all the people that he's met along the way, like what happens when he comes back and that sort of thing. It's fine. I don't know. I do think like this and my novel copy are gonna go in my unhaul pile. I don't know that it's necessarily the truest to the novel. I do think I actually like the novel better, but I don't necessarily know that I love either version. But now that I've finished that, it does mean that I can roll again. Oh boy, a double. That's 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Most recent purchase. I had 2 books come in today. Okay, one is the YA October Fairy Loot, and then I think the other is the September Romantasy from Fairy Loot. I got that off of Pango. But since this is a double, let me. Oh, Jesus. Okay. That's a 3 and a 1. So quattro. 1, 2, 3, 4. Community shelf. I might be picking 2 books this round. So if I go with that one, I could do a sequel, and I could do the YA box pick, and I could do a combo of that because that's technically the start. It's like at the start of a new like sequel series to something. I don't want to like spoil it. One of my latest purchases where I like went out and bought them was actually Beyond the Clouds. We're just gonna go with one of the most recent purchases instead of the one that I actually got today because I'd like to make some more progress. This is conveniently also a sequel since it's volume 2. So we're going to read this and report back in a little bit. All right, I just finished volume 2 of Beyond the Clouds. It's still super cute, still like really pretty art. Just like cute little art, and then like really pretty like double page spreads and that sort of thing. Theo and Mia have gone on an adventure looking for a magician, and they've like just gotten to the city where they think they will be able to find him. Since that's done, that means we're going to come back over here and roll again. Cecil took out Jim Bob and old Greg. That's a 9. Okay. So 8, 9. Leatherface. Family part of the plot. Maybe I'll just do volume 3. All right, I finished volume 3. So I'm gonna turn this around and we're gonna roll again. Haha. Oh my god. I swear. Another bone. Bone. Another 8. Okay. Some humor. All right. Since I still have my picks right here, because I haven't put them away, should I do Castle in the Air or Vampirates? I think if I want something funny, I need to go with Castle in the Air. I don't think I have anything else that fits the bill. So I have an update. I have finished Castle in the Air, which was my combo pick for Bone and Grady Hendrix. This was a reread for me. I really enjoyed it. Again, I hadn't read it probably in like 10 years. It's been a while. Yeah, it was a nice like refresh, especially since I reread Howls earlier this year. That was a really nice follow up. I do have House of Many Ways, but that's like an ebook on my Kindle. So I do have that. I just don't have a physical copy. These came out in like the 90s. Yeah, this was 1990. I'm going to assume Howl's Moving Castle was like 88 or 89. And House of Many Ways came out in like 2006 or something, maybe like 04, 05, but it was like many, many years later. And so they didn't make them in these covers. They made them in like not the newest covers, but like the like new covers at the time. Like they gave the whole series new covers at the time. So, and then I am still working my way through Treasury of the Lost Litter Box. This was a combo pick. I think this was a combo pick. Maybe this was just humor. I don't know. I've had it out to like read for most of the year. But I don't know. I feel like these are like this is like what you read like for like the 2 minutes you're sitting on the toilet or 5 minutes or 20 minutes. I did pull these off of the back of the toilets mostly because I don't really use our hall bath all that often. And then the shower is like right next to the toilet in our bathroom because it's pretty tiny. And so I like didn't want it to get like wet or and then the other thing in our bathroom is like we don't have a fan. So if it gets really like I like really hot showers. So I didn't want it to get like moist. I still have like a pretty big chunk. I have not made it a crazy priority. I read like 40 something 40, 50 pages, probably in like 20, 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes or so. They're pretty quick reads because they're like literal, like Sunday comics. It is Halloween, so I am going to try and finish this. And then it's like 6:30. Yeah, 6:36. So I have just under 5.5 hours left to read. So I also have to have dinner in there at some point and other house life things. But I will have plenty of time to finish this, and I will probably be back to roll one more time.
possibly 2 if the rules give me something that I can use like a manga for. But other than that, I think the only other thing that I'm going to do right now is show you our little Halloween village that we have set up. Some of it is, it's a bean. Look at this man. Oh my gosh. Look at this boy. Hi. Are you a bean? Are you a bean? Yeah, some of the village is battery powered or like has like lights built in, but then the rest are candles. So
I have finished The Treasury of the Lost Litter Box. Yeah, it's this again was a reread, but it's been like a really long time since I've really read through one of these collections. I kind of want to read through some of the other ones that I have, but I don't know. I should what I should do is see if there are any new collections. I think I looked kind of recently to see, and there weren't any that I didn't already have. Possibly. I don't know. But this might have been like a year or so ago. But it is 10:17. So I'm gonna roll one more time. I suspect it'll be one more time. See how we do. All right. All right, that's a 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that real? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Community shelf. Okay. I gotta go to my trusty list. All right. So, of the list, I have done 5, I think 7 and 11. Generate a couple times. All right. Should we go with 5? What is 5? No, I already did 5. I already did 7. 4. What is 4? 4 is same vibes as your favorite Halloween show, movie, game. Oh, okay. One of my favorite movies is Hocus Pocus. So I could try and find something witchy. I do also love Scooby-Doo. I don't know which one is my favorite, though. For Scooby-Doo, I could either do a mystery or I could do paranormal. Mainly for the old school ones where it was like the witch's castle or whatever it was. Like, and they were like Scooby and Shaggy went and like helped them train for some sort of competition. Okay. I do have like 3 mysteries that I could do because like I don't really read a ton of mystery, so it could be good to like get that off my shelf if I don't intend to keep it. So I have Captain Elatriste. Okay, so this is like a historical mystery. A friend of mine was telling me about this series that she read as a kid and she liked better than like Nancy Drew's. So this could be good. Like just like a classic like teen mystery type thing. This could be fun. And if I hate it, then I can just give it to my friend and be like, hey. And then I have Antidote to Venom. Antidote to Villain. Antidote to Venom. I don't know where I got this. I don't know if this is something that like my grandma had. My grandma's a big reader. Apparently, this is an author that was during the golden age, or like he was from the golden age of British crime fiction. So I don't know if I will love this. That's an option. The other option, if I'm going, well, so these would all be like Scooby-Doo type mysteries. If I wanted to do one that was more like urban fantasy type feel, I could do this, which is an arc that I got from the bookstore. Oh yeah? What do you have to say? Would you like to share with the people? Oh my gosh. Are you a good boy? If I wanted to do something that's like teen something or other, so this could be good. I do need to read this. Okay, so this one is, it says, car headlights. The last thing Ash hears is a snap of breaking glass as the windscreen hits her and shatters into a million pieces like stars. But she made it. She's still here. Or is she? This New Year's Eve, Ash gets an invitation from the afterlife she can't decline to join a clan of fierce girl reapers who take the soul of the city's dead to await their fate. But Ash can't forget her first love, Poppy, and she will do anything to see her again, even if it means they only get a few more days together, dead or alive. I feel like I don't really have like a great sense of what this is about, other than like a sapphic, like teen romance. I did read the first like chapter, I think, or like prologue or something. Maybe I think I'm going to try this one. I will report back, let you know how it goes, because I have no idea what this is supposed to be about. Like, not surely not from that synopsis. I read the first several chapters of this. It was way more about the relationship and like the development of the relationship. Like probably like 50%, like 40 to 50% of the way through is when like the Reaper type stuff happens. So it's way more about the relationship, and like the relationship is like a huge part of this story. And like I thought it was going to be more like I didn't think it was going to be like as prevalent, like, oh, this is like my first love that like didn't like come to fruition, but it like very much did. So yeah, this is like, I'm not the target audience for this, like age wise or like demographic wise, but it was fun. I wasn't like totally vibing with it because of like the development of the relationship and like the plot was going. There's like just enough fantastical to like keep this interesting, but like the first part is not that fantastical. And so like I wasn't crazy interested, and like I've never been really interested in contemporary YA, even when I was in that age range. So I did need to read this. So I'm glad that I got it done. I did kind of skim through a little bit, but I got the gist. Yeah, I'm gonna roll. All right. 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. I swear, you know what? You know what? We are just gonna 10. Do I want to try another community shelf one, which is what I just came from?
Mhm.
Or do I want to go for a 10, which is, I guess I could do a manga if I did a 10, because it would be an under 300 page book.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. We're going to just go for a 10 and go for a small book. How many pages is this? Maybe I'll do a skim through of The Alchemist to see if I want to keep this, and then see how we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do this. All right, so I know I said I was going to read The Alchemist to compare it, but it was I read a few pages and it was close enough. I was like, okay, this is more similar than I remembered it being to the graphic novel. So I switched to volume 4 of Beyond the Clouds. It's really cute. It's like a strange mix of like fantasy and almost like steampunk-ish, but not quite. I don't know. Since I finished this, that means I get to roll again. So we're gonna turn this around. 7. Oh, no, Jim Bob. 5, 6, 7. Oh no, a back wreck. I don't know that I have anything readily available. It's okay. That's more manageable. We'll go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A book that I've been saving. I could do Vampirates or something else. I guess let's do this one. The other one would be like starting another like 5-book series. So we'll go with this one since it's in front of me. All right. I have finally finished my final book of Spookoplathon, which was Vampirates, Demons of the Ocean. So this is the first volume in the series. This is by Justin Somper. This came out ages ago, like maybe 2010s. April 2007. No. Okay. That was the first paperback edition. So that's probably when I got it, since it's the US paperback. So been a while since it's been out. This is a reread for me, but it's one where I think I've read the first. I feel like I really only remember like vague events from the first one, like before I obviously just read it. I feel like I read the second one though. I don't know, man. There's nothing in the memory banks. So this follows twins Connor and Grace. They grew up. Their father was a lighthouse keeper, so they grew up in a lighthouse. I think in Australia. I don't know why. I feel like they were in Australia. Yeah, east coast of Australia, and it's set in like a weird time. It's set in like 2505, so like 2500. So way in the future. But yeah, so their father was a lighthouse keeper, so they grew up in a lighthouse, and he used to sing them this like sea shanty about vampire pirates, hence the name of the series, Vampirates. And their father passes away when they are 14, and since they're minors, they have to like be in someone's care. There's like an orphanage in town, and then there's, I can't remember if he's the mayor or whatever, but they like try and like force them into like living with them. And so they run away. They steal their father's boat and go out to sea, and they're out to sea for, like a couple hours, and then they get shipwrecked. And Grace gets picked up by the vampire ship, and Connor gets picked up by just a regular pirate ship. It follows kind of their first moments of separation and trying to get back to each other, trying to figure out like what's going on with the vampire ship, what's going on with like trying to figure out like life as a pirate for Connor, and he starts taking like sword fighting lessons and goes on a raid, and Grace starts learning more about how the vampire ship works and like trying to get answers. The book does end with them being reunited. It doesn't explain anything about like, do they go their separate ways or like stay on their individual ships? Do they go together? So like I'm looking forward to that in the second book. I cannot remember for the life of me if I have read the second book or not. Like nothing is coming to mind, so I'm thinking that I haven't. I don't know. I have the full 6-book series and it's been on my list to read and finish for a very long time. So that's the goal. I don't know if I'm going to finish by the end of the year, but it's like very quick reads. It did take me like I read like 60 pages like super quick, and then like I read like in bed, going to sleep, and I'd read like 10 pages a couple times, but then I sat down and read. I think I got to page like 120, 125, something like that, and then I like sat down and read the rest, and it was a very fast read. So, man, can we just talk about how this was $5.99? Can we go back to those book prices, please? Like, I know that's not how things work, but it'd be nice. It'd be nice.
So I finished Silence of the Lambs. It's very good. I see why they made it into a movie. I really liked it. I thought it was a good action-packed story. It felt very fast. I always felt like the movie was like took a while to get there. I think this like there's a lot of good action throughout and a lot of good mystery. So I was a fan. Creepy, but quite good. You would not like.
No. I did like the Mads Mikkelsen show, though.
Mm-hmm. Just because of Mads Mikkelsen.
and Hugh Dancy, let's be real. Okay. I mean, is it going to stay on your shelf?
I think it's going to stay.
Do a recap of your book?
There were not that many. So it was this one, The Apollo Murders, which I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which I liked. I thought that was really good. And then there was one more that I was finishing when we started. And I think I finished it and was like, forget this junk, like pretty much right away.
Was it that incesty one?
No, that was a while ago.
Yeah, it was
Flowers in the Attic. Oh, no. Oh, The House in the Orchard. It was like dual time period where in the quote present of the story, it's like post World War II, and they inherit a house from their like great aunt who inherited it from someone else. Most of the book is a flashback through the great aunt's journals, revealing her history with the house and her history with her brother, who's kind of a dick.
I remember you being like,
yeah, and then it just kind of was like it ended, and like there was a murder, and it was very questionable about who's telling the truth, and
that sounds like a terrible time.
Yeah, it was very strange.
As someone who doesn't like that at all, that sounds like a terrible time. All right, let me run through the books. These are in no particular order because they were jumbled as I was putting them on my red shelf. And then again, several other times, taking them off the shelf and then recapping things. And now. So obviously, we just read Vampirettes, read The Apothecary Diaries, Volume 1, Story of Sainkoku, Volume 1, Marriage Toxin, Volume 4, Dreadful by Caitlin Rozakis, A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher, Afterlove by Tanya Byrne, Volumes 2, hang on, let me get these in order. Volumes 2, 3, and 4 of Beyond the Clouds, Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu, Cat Gamer, Volume 1. I DNF'd Simonov, however you pronounce it, and You'd Look Better as a Ghost. I read Sakamoto Days, Volume 13, Queen Bee by Juno Dawson, The Watsons by Jane Austen, Castle in the Air by Diana Wynne Jones, Cats in Spring Rain, A Celebration of Feline Charm in Japanese Art and Haiku, The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling, Witch Hat Atelier Kitchen, Volume 1, We All Fall Down by Rose Szabo, Once Upon a Broken Heart, The Ballad of Never After, and A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, Seven Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb, Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan, Treasury of the Lost Litter Box by Darby Conley. This is like the comic Get Fuzzy in just collected in book form. And The Alchemist, the graphic novel, was a reread. I skimmed through the first few pages of the novel. When I first read it, I had the impression that the novel was slightly different from the graphic novel. And upon reread, I had the feeling that it was a little bit closer than I remembered. This wasn't counted for a prompt. I DNF'd it so quickly that I picked a different book for the prompt. I did decide ultimately that both of these are leaving, among others, that will be leaving my house. And then finally, we have my favorite read of the month, which is The God in the Gumio by Sophie Kim. Yeah, this is like K-drama in book form, and I loved it. And I would like more, please. Thank you. That is all from me/us. So yeah, I hope if you participated in Spookoplathon that you had as successful of a reading month as we did. Let me know if you've read any of these and if you participated in Spookoplathon, how your month went. Anyway, I will see you all next time. Let me know if you want more vloggy style reads. Because I don't know, it's kind of fun versus like a sit down video. Anyway, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.